Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Recently, I gave a lesson to the youth about having a strong foundation. I wanted to build in the youth the importance of building a strong foundation in our lives. Previously, I asked them to build a tall tower using the items they found in their homes. These were some of the towers they built. I asked the youth to tell me what they noticed while building the tower. They said the base of the tower needed to be really strong in order to build a tall tower, and that whenever they built the tower with a weak base, it would get all shaky and eventually fall down. This was a good way to get them to think about the need for a strong foundation. I showed them a picture of a tree with strong roots, and I asked them if the tree had no roots, what would happen to the tree when it got windy? They said it would fall down easily. They also said that the strong roots are a key to the tree standing. I showed them a picture of a mountain showing huge foundations. I asked the youth what would happen if the mountain had no foundations. They explained to me how the mountain wouldn't be able to stand up without such strong foundations, and that it would crumble easily in bad weather or in an earthquake. I showed them a picture of a boxer. I asked them whether the boxer would go into a boxing match without training, without the right diet, and without the right focus. They all agreed and said no, or the boxer will lose and the fight wouldn't go well. He'd be unfit and he'd have no stamina. I explained that for the boxer, the level of preparation is his foundation for success. A strong foundation will improve his chances of victory. I showed them a short video of a very strong house being built, which could survive strong winds, a fire, and a storm. I then asked the youth to tell me what made the house so strong. They explained how the key was the strong foundation that was laid before the house was built. This ensures it can withstand storms and fires. I explained to them that just like all these things we have mentioned need a strong foundation, so do we as human beings. If we don't know who we are, where we are, and why we are on this earth, we will live a life which is flimsy as a weak tower just waiting to fall. I explained we must be sure about who we are, why we are Muslim, why do we love Islam. We must be mindful to fulfill our actual purpose for life, or otherwise we are setting ourselves up to fail in the purpose of life, which is to live according to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's commands. After showing the youth the important need for strong foundations, I then wanted to show them the opposite of having a strong foundation. I showed them what a weak foundation is by showing them a short video of big buildings that fell due to weak foundations. I showed them a picture of a weak bridge leading to a weak building with crocodile-infested waters underneath, and I asked them if they would cross over to work in that building. They all refused to cross and said they would never because of the weakness in the foundations of the building and the dangers that lurked below in the waters. I explained that if your life is also built upon a weak foundation, you will also fall when you meet resistance and viewpoints that go against you and your beliefs. I showed them a picture showing the difference between a strong foundation and a weak foundation, and I asked them which one would be safe standing upon. They all chose the strong one, as they could clearly see that having a weak foundation would lead to their collapse. Next, I asked them some questions which they need to be confident about, or it would lead to them having a weak foundation. I asked them whether they can prove that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala exists. Can they prove that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam was a prophet and a messenger? Can they prove that Islam is the truth? Who created Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? How can a book which is 1400 years old show us how to live in a modern world? And how do we know for sure the Quran is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? They all agreed we need to know the answers to these with clarity, or else we will not have the strong foundation. To further strengthen the idea of having a strong foundation, I asked the kids to prepare a 3-minute explanation of why they are Muslim and why they love Islam. I also asked them to tell me about one Sahabi who showed great foundations and a great love of Islam. The feedback I received from the parents of the kids was that it was a very important discussion, and they didn't know how to build this idea of having a strong foundation in their kids. Hence, this is why we decided to create this lesson overview to help all parents build this important idea in their children. Hope you found this lesson on building strong foundations useful. Please like, share and follow Lead to Jannah on the links below, and let's lead the Muslims towards Jannah. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
نفسي بنور من فؤادي